Okay, today's Sunday. It is 3:47 p.m. It is March 1st. What I've noticed about what I noticed about trading is this. Buying is easy. Okay? Buying is easy. I can go to Costco and buy this water. Apparently the plastic leaches into this and it's not good for pregnant people. So, what I noticed about trading is this, okay? Buying is easy. Okay, buying is easy. It's so easy. Buying in the market is so easy. Okay? I can't do it now, but I can, if I have a credit card, take cash out of it, put it into market, and buy something. That's how easy it is. And for the next 1 year, it's only a 10% interest rate because it's locked in for that's the new law in America, right? And so it's easy. I can also do this. I could take out a second mortgage on the house, take that money, and buy Bitcoin, okay? At any price. It's easy, okay? It's easy. I can also sell my car, okay? I can sell my car and then take that proceeds and put it into market and buy whatever I want. I can buy Tesla. I can buy whatever I want. I can buy Apple. I could buy Amazon. I could put it in there and I can buy it. Okay. I can also take my life savings and then take that proceed and buy whatever I want. Okay, I could buy gold, I could buy silver, I could buy platinum, all that stuff, right? It's easy. Okay. Well, okay, so you're saying that it's easy. So how do you go about buying, right? Well, all you have to do is they'll help you out too. They're more than willing to help out. There are firms out there. There are brokerage firms who will conveniently allow you and make it easy as possible for you to buy as much as you can afford. Okay? Even if you can't afford it, they'll allow you to buy it, just like the credit card company. It's a business. They get their money from commissions by providing a valuable service for people who are consistent to be able to make money from the market. That's the intent, okay? The people who buy, and it's so easy. It's very, very easy. There's tutorials. People will teach you how to do it too. They have like tutorials. They have like manuals on how to use their software, right? Like Thinkorswim has those softwares. And there's a plethora of companies that are in the US and outside of the US. Also, there are prof firms who are willing to provide you with funds as long as you prove to them that you are a good trader. But in the meantime, before you aren't a good trader, you are able to cycle through as many prof firms as you desire. You could sell your shoes, you could sell your shirt, you could even sell your blood. You can even sell your plasma, okay? And then take that money, put it in the market, and figure out how to make the money, okay? It's easy. Buying is easy, okay? Buying is so easy. Buying in the market is easy. Now, on the flip side, selling is very, very hard. Selling is very, very hard because selling means that I'm attempting to sell at a price that is higher than where I bought. So buying is easy, okay? Buying is, anybody can do it. Anybody can buy. Selling is a very, very difficult thing. Okay, even if people who know how to buy the right way can be wrong at times. Okay, they can be wrong. All right, and so what they have to do is they have to figure out some ways to sell. Okay, so I know how to buy. Okay, I the reason that I have no money and that I lost all my money is because I figured out a way to take every penny that I had, every penny, okay, except for those couple pennies up there. I took every penny that I have and I put it in the market, which means that I was able to buy. It's easy. My IQ is low, so anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Okay? I assure you, as God as my witness, if I can figure out how to buy, anybody can figure out how to buy. Now here's the part. Here's a problem with that. The flip side is selling is a very, very difficult thing to do. Okay, selling is incredibly difficult to do because there is some psychological impact into selling. Okay, buying, I can do it whether it's psychological or whatever it is, whether I'm like logically thinking, whatever it is, I can buy. But selling has such an incredibly a big impact into trading, such as, okay, let's say out of sheer luck, I'm into the trade and the price moves in my direction. What I will do is I will close it out as soon as possible. That's wrong. Okay? I will close it out as soon as possible because I don't want to lose. Okay? But when the price is going down, I don't think that way. I think completely different. I think to myself, okay, I don't want to lose, but I allow, and that means I don't want to lose. So I want the price to go as long as possible so it can reverse back. But that doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. It has to be exited as soon as possible. Even if it bounces and comes back and goes in my direction, I have to exit the trade because my thinking was incorrect. So that means selling is very difficult. Buying is very easy. Selling is very difficult. And so what I do in a lot of the cases, because my mindset isn't right, for the past 5 years, I would enter into trade, don't even set the stop loss. Because my subconscious is already calculated that if I put the stop loss there, I'm going to lose anyway, which means that the size that I'm trading is way too big, too much of a risk for that single trade. I'm saying to myself, my subconscious is saying, my logical side is saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't take that trade because the size is too big. That's forcing you so that you can't set the stop loss. And so what happens is, sure enough, if my efficacy is 50-50, okay, if my win-to-loss ratio is 50-50, 50% of the time I'm going to lose. When that 50% hits, I'm going to lose everything. Okay? That's why it's so difficult. So that's how I lose. Okay? That's how I lose money in the market. Also losing is very difficult. Okay? Losing the minimum amount, I had to collect my thoughts there. Losing the minimum amount is very difficult. Even if I lose a little bit, so I enter, I put a stop loss, but it's so close but the thing is, there is something called a commission and a spread. Okay, there's a commission and a spread that kicks in, and along with that, I'm immediately in a loss because of those things, and then there's something called a price movement within a particular range. Okay. Within a range, there's a dithering effect that's impacted. So price doesn't just go except in an exceptional manner where it moves from this price to here in a parabolic manner, meaning one price is lower than the other next price, and this price is lower than this price. Okay, so that's a parabolic move. But what happens in most cases is the price will enter here and then move up, drop below, come back up, drop below, come back up, drop below. So when I get in here, what's going to happen is when I get in here, it's going to drop. So along with a commission, with the spread, there is that movement that dithers down that impacts the loss. And so if I put the stop loss right within that window of dithering, what's going to do is it's going to cause me to lose. See, that's another thing. There are at least 3 different ways for me to lose. Okay, my setup is not right, and so it moves against me. Okay, that's one. All right, that's one. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's an account breach. That's an account breach loss. The other is I don't account for the slight movement, even though I'm right. I don't account for the movement of the price, okay, within its range, even though it's trending. And so that causes what's called a small loss, okay, death by small cuts, okay. That's what it is. Lose, 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 lose. And then all of a sudden it ends up being a breach. Okay? Right? Those are the two primary means for me to lose the account. Okay? Lose the trade. Okay? So what are the things? So now I need to collect my thoughts. So what other things? What other things cause me to lose? Okay? So the biggest one is I don't have a stop loss and it just goes, okay? Because I have too much size. Then my setup is not good enough to sustain a good percentage of win. And that's why it causes a lot of losses, okay? So those are the 2 primary means that I lose. Okay? Those are the 2 primary means. Okay? Right? Those are the 2 primary means that I lose. And making it more complex is the psychological involved in it. So the stop loss doesn't mean that when I make a trade and I lose and I exit the trade, okay, it means that if I'm down for a certain period, I have to be able to recognize there's some issues with my mindset at that moment. And when my mindset is not right at that moment, that loss compounds and adds to the loss, and then eventually loss becomes it's somewhere between lots of small losses and then a few big losses. Something in between causes these losses. Okay? And then the only way for me to stop is to get breached or 5% loss when I'm trading the funded accounts, prop firm accounts, okay? And so I have to, okay, it's easy to buy, I can just buy, but selling is a very, very difficult thing. So it's similar to, like, did the chicken come first or the egg come first? Okay, did the chicken come first or did the egg come first? So which one came first? Did the chicken come first or did the egg come first? So there is a incredible amount of importance in knowing. See, there are some YouTube people who are talking about, they put an incredible amount of emphasis on losing properly. Okay, it's essential. It protects the funds that I have, and then if by luck that I made it, then I'm able to protect it, because that's how you trade. Okay, you have to be. Apparently, there's this one guy. He says on YouTube, he says, I've never met a profitable trader. I've never met a great trader who isn't a great loser. Okay, who isn't a great loser. You have to be a great loser. See, I focused so much attention for the past 5 years on how to make money. Okay, how to make money. But until I reach the point where I figure out how to make money, then I associate along with that, knowing that there is a statistical probability. Okay, there is a statistical probability. Okay, into the wins. It means that when my trading is prone to statistical probability, that means the point where the statistics are moving against me, at that point, the stop loss kicks in to protect me from further losses. Okay? That I've avoided looking into this, because my mindset has been for the past 5 years is to figure out how to make money. But in reality, what is important is the protection, of the funds that I put in, and if by luck that there is some accrual of those funds, then in order for me to protect that, I have to utilize a sophisticated means and become a great loser. Okay? I have to be a great loser, right? See, when I have a conversation with other people, right? And then if I'm wrong, I don't want to admit it because it'll damage my ego, okay? And I will keep fighting it and fighting it, no matter what happens, okay? No matter what happens. So it reminds me of these two landowners, farmers. And then one day, a turkey dropped between their borders, okay? A big plump turkey, and it's Thanksgiving. And it's fresh, okay? It's not roadkill, it's fresh. It just dropped, okay? And its legs were tied up. Its legs were tied up in the barbed wire, and so it can't fly away. But it's plump, it's big, okay? And it's Thanksgiving. That night is Thanksgiving. So these farmers merged around these two turkeys, and so they each argued the turkey is theirs, right? And so one farmer says, "I now know, okay, I know that this argument will never end." Okay, that's what he said to himself. Okay, he said this argument will never end. Okay, never end, because they've been at it for about an hour or 2 hours, right? So this farmer says, this argument will never end. Okay, so this farmer proposed, okay, whoever kicks each other's nuts and then is able to sustain it at the end gets to keeps the turkey. Okay, so the other farmer who didn't figure out what's going on accepted the challenge. So the person who the farmer who proposed it says, "Hey, since I came up with it, I'll go first." So he moves back 100 meters, runs as fast as he can, and then kicks him in the nuts. Okay, and the farmer on the other side, just tears poured out of the excruciating pain. Okay, then he said, despite the pain, he says, "Okay, it's my turn." Okay, before he moves back, the farmer who came up with the idea says, "No, it's okay, you keep it." See, that's losing. That's losing the best way. That's losing the great way. That's the best way, okay? If you allow someone to go back 100 meters and come at you, okay, that's breaching the challenge. You're losing money, okay? You're losing the second mortgage you took out and then bought Tesla, and then it dropped. If you can't sell it before it gets to the point where your money's gone, it's like people who are saying, "Oh, it went down $5. I am now sure that it's going to go back up." And then they take the rest of the money and buy it. Okay? Then it dropped more. Then they sell their motorcycle, and then they put more money in it. Okay, because they're now even more sure, because it went down $10, it's going to go back up. And then it drops a little bit. So now what they're doing is they'll go to the blood bank, sell their blood, and then take the money and then buy more, because they're absolutely sure, because it's down $20, it's going to go back up. Okay, what ends up doing is that it's going to go down, and then it's going to sit there for years and years and years. Okay. What should have been done is, if the price moved to a certain point where there should be support buying situations, it should have been got out. Okay, then you would have saved your house, you would have saved your motorcycle, you would have saved your blood, okay, and you would have saved your marriage. Okay, that's how important stop loss is, right? Buying is easy. Selling is very hard.